Hilary Clinton said goodbye to the U.S. State Department on Friday after she officially resigned as Secretary of State.
But I am more optimistic today than I was when I stood here 4 years ago, because I have seen day after day the many contributions that our diplomats and development experts are making.
Clinton left the post with a high approval rating among Americans. She broke the travel records of all previous secretaries, visiting 112 countries and flying nearly 1.5 million kilometers. After Clinton's departure, Senator John Kerry was sworn in as the new Secretary of State. One big question for Clinton: will she run for president in 2016? And now that Hilary Clinton is out and her successor John Kerry will assume the role of U.S. world diplomat, we want to hear more about what this means. Joining me now to talk about the challenges that lie ahead for the newly confirmed Secretary of State is Wahid Monawar, Senior Vice President at Zurich Partners. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
What is John Kerry's biggest, most immediate challenge?
He's facing obviously enormous challenges going forward for two reasons. One, this is the second term from President Barack Obama. He needs to leave a legacy for the world, what kind of presidency, administration he had. I believe yesterday, former Secretary of State Hilary Clinton had a really excellent speech at Council on Foreign Relations, where she outlined the transition for Secretary of State John Kerry, that there need to be a global engagement. We need to make everyone part of the discussion for moving forward.
Well, obviously she leaves a large legacy herself. What will John Kerry have to do to live up to what she has already started? And do you anticipate a seamless transition between this leadership here?
I believe John Kerry has enormous challenges, better than, more difficult than Hilary Clinton had in 2009. Things are not as good as it seems back in 2009 in the Middle East. We have an enormous challenge in Syria. We still don't know who we should support in Syria. The opposition is mixed. There is some mixture of elements that the United States has fought for the past 10 years. Al-Qaeda is in the midst of the opposition. That's one thing. In South China Sea, there's enormous challenge too. There is the rise of China power. The United States still doesn't have a clear idea how the regional power will behave. In Afghanistan, I think, in Pakistan, there's an enormous challenge. I think the United States wants to end the war in Afghanistan in 2014. But how can we get engaged, India, Pakistan, Russia, and all the regional actors to have a peaceful transition and a successful transition? These are the challenges that John Kerry will face, and I think it's quite enormous.
Well, and you know, Hilary Clinton traveled the world. People knew her. She was fairly well liked around the world in other countries. What do other countries know about John Kerry? And is this a reset, if you will, with U.S. relations with those countries?
I think John Kerry has one benefit, although it's a negative benefit because he ran for president in 2004, and he has the stigma of a failed candidate. He needs to remove that. Beside that, I think he's well known throughout the world. He has traveled. He was the chairman of foreign relations. So the people and the leaders know him. Whether the new leaders, like in the Middle East, whether the new leadership of the Egypt or Tunisia know him, and how they will cooperate with him. Even our biggest ally in the Middle East, Israel, we don't know how they will have the relationship going forward, knowing that Chuck Hagel, if he's confirmed, will be the Secretary of Defense.
That's right. Okay, Wahid Monawar, thank you so much for your time and your insight on this very timely topic.